Welcome to the On Purpose Investor Podcast, show 53. You know, you plan for contingencies, but you don't plan for the contingency, and that's where I went wrong. Welcome to the On Purpose Investor Podcast with your host, Eric and Tiffany Vogel. We've spent several hard years building a rental property portfolio so we can have more time with our family and live our ideal life. Now, finding your path can be difficult, so we're here to guide you along the way with lessons, tips, and tricks to design and implement your dream life. Now, sit back, turn up the volume, smash that follow button, and get ready for this episode of the On Purpose Investor. What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the On Purpose Investor Podcast, show number 53, where we're talking about the 5 ways life has literally kicked our butts over this past year. And we're only in June. We just started June, and we're still kind of getting our butt kicked here and there. But we want to share those things. I'm your host, Eric, with my lovely co-host, finally in the same room again,
Tiffany.
Yeah, it's great to be back.
Yeah.
It's good to be back. Good to be back in the studio.
Yeah.
But far better to be back with my family.
Yeah. It was an eventful morning of a trip to Costco. That was not just me with 2 kids, so it was a lot of fun.
Our son ate half of a hot dog, half a slice of pizza, and most of the entire chocolate sundae. He is 2.5 years old.
Yeah.
I don't know where it went.
We'll find out later. We'll save that for that story for in the podcast.
That's right. They said that as they get a little bit older, they just become a bottomless pit, and it's really starting to show.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure our buggy, our shopping cart, is going to become ever more full.
Yeah,
as we go.
We'll buy another rental to afford his food budget, especially because we have a pool now. So like with swimming, he's gonna be burning some. So we're gonna have to just throw food at him.
You know, I just got back from this class up in Virginia, and there were people there from all over the country: Washington State, South Dakota, Indianapolis. There was somebody there from Guam, and just so many people. And the first thing they noticed about me was my accent. And then even more so, what I called things.
Well, your Southern isms.
Yeah, I guess I got a lot of Southern isms. One of them, my new friend now in Washington State, had a booklet, like just a tiny little booklet he wrote in. Every time I said an ism, he'd write it down.
There's the book, The Stuff My Dad Says.
Essentially, he was writing a book on stuff that Eric says.
That's great.
Yeah, but it just came to me when I said we were getting the buggy at Costco. He's like, "What's a buggy?" And I'm sure we got friends in the North that's like, "What is a buggy?" Well, it's the big metal thing that you put your pop in when you get to the store.
No, it's Coke.
Well, duh. Down here.
Even if it's Sprite, it's Coke.
Everything's a Coke down here.
All right.
It's a Sprite Coke or it's a Pepsi Coke. I'm done.
It's not even a soapbox. Like, it's not even something good.
It just is. It just is. Well, I'm glad to be back. I hope you are glad I'm back.
You're out of the hotel room.
Yeah, I'm out of the hotel room.
Guitar's back on the wall instead of in the background.
That's right. Always got my guitar. So 5 ways life has kicked our butt over the past, let's say 6 months or so.
Yeah. I mean, this year has been interesting because we had the baby in October, which I know is not this year. But so January 4th, I think it was, you left for 6 weeks. Mm-hmm. I had a 3-month-old and a 2-year-old. Mm-hmm. That was a nightmare. Just absolutely a nightmare. And then you were coming home on the weekends.
Yeah, I came home on the weekends. And then once I was home.
From the 6 weeks.
Yeah, so it was mid-February. Yeah. I'm home. And between, let's say, February 15th through April 1st, which is about 6 weeks, we did everything we could to structure our business. Yeah. Structure everything to be okay for me to leave for another 10 weeks.
And structure the business, the family, like we sleep trained. And so the baby was finally sleeping when you left this go around, but you've been gone for 2 months.
Yeah.
So we just got home yesterday. Gosh.
Yeah.
We learned a lot of lessons, some of them harder than others, I think. And I guess just wanted to share the lessons we learned, and maybe you can apply some of it so that you can avoid going through the struggles that we went through.
There were quite a few different struggles too. Some of them more, I'd say passive than others.
Yeah.
But some of them were really big. So let's start out with one of the biggest things that kicked your butt.
Yeah. So when he was gone in the first part of the year, I had a realization of staying home with kids is not for me. I was basically stay-at-home mom full-time with the help of grandparents and family, but I didn't have childcare, like consistent scheduled childcare outside of their day school that they go to 2 days a week. And I realized by the time I dropped them off, got home, got on the breast pump, and got everything situated, I had maybe 45 minutes to an hour, and then I had to go pick them up. So then I was pretty much cleaning the house and doing all the stuff I needed to do around the house. And when you left the second time, it's like, you know what? I'm just going to stay in town and work for a couple hours, maybe take myself out to lunch kind of thing.
Yeah.
But all of that to say, it caused me to realize staying home is not for me. I want to work. And we created financial freedom to spend time with our family, but I didn't realize how much I enjoyed working. And I realized I was really the happiest when I was working full time and building the business.
Yeah.
So one of the shifts that happened is I am going to take more control over the businesses, particularly the On Purpose Investor brand. And Eric's going to be the face of it for sure and teach the content, but I'm really the behind the scenes doing everything and building it out.
Pay no attention to the beautiful redhead behind the curtain.
Yeah, and I'm not doing it alone. We have a great team supporting us. So
that's right.
Thanks, Aaron.
Absolutely.
Edit this podcast for us.
Yes.
And all the future things you're going to do for us. But, it just really forced me to say, okay, I'm not happy with the way things are. What can we do to change them?
Mm-hmm.
So when he was home for the 6 weeks, like we really shifted things and set up. We had a nanny come to the house a couple days a week, which was great, but still not enough for what I wanted.
Right.
And I was ready to go full on in all the ventures I'm doing right now, which is a lot, but there still has to be someone that's there when the nanny calls out sick or when the kids get, they're at school and can't stay because they have runny poop or whatever, and doing it all on my own, I had to just pump the brakes. So the past week or two, I just didn't work. I did what I could, but I wanted to be in the office working, but the kids needed me and there was no one else. So you do it. But I guess it made me realize I wish I had embraced it a little bit more and been happy in the moment and been present with the kids more instead of trying to go work. Just really acknowledge, okay, this is only a season.
Mm-hmm.
And this June is a crazy month for us with additional trips and your annual training. But I know that come July, we are going to have a different whole set of infrastructure in place for me to go work. So that was my time to invest in the kids and just kind of relax. And there will be time to really grow the business later.
Yeah.
So it kind of ties to where the real estate market is right now too, because people are looking for deals and there's not deals out there. They're so hard to find.
They're there,
but
they're very difficult to find if you have a certain way of finding deals that is primarily consist of looking at what's on the MLS.
Yeah.
There are definitely deals out there that people will find.
The way we found deals is there's not deals. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
And you have to work a little bit harder to find them.
Mm-hmm.
But there will come a time where the market is shifting. And I think the reason the deals are hard to find right now is interest rates are up, but the pricing hasn't adjusted down to make it worthwhile. Does that make sense? Like the sellers have not adjusted to where the rates are.
That makes sense. I'm trying to tie in how the real estate relates to that. And maybe it'll help.
Well, what I'm saying is the market is not in a place right now where deals are easy to find.
Yeah.
And I still listen to a ton of real estate podcasts, even though we're not actively buying, and because I just love the business. And they're saying now is the time to invest in yourself.
Yeah.
Get the education, build, we'll talk about this in a second, but build the team and the infrastructure so that when there are deals, you're ready to go. So analyze deals, still do all the work, but know that you might not buy houses right now. And that's okay. Don't buy houses just for the sake of buying houses.
Right.
Make sure there are true deals. And if your volume is down, that's okay. It's a season to really hone your skills and sharpen your knives and your tools so that you are ready when the market shifts.
There's a couple of sayings that we've both used and heard used. The one I like to say often is, you're going to cash a check later that you're writing today.
Yeah.
And the check that many people need to be writing today is the check of education and the check of networking and the check of relationships.
Yeah.
Because when time comes to essentially cash that check, you want to be able to cash it big.
Right.
And you want that investment to have grown and doubled itself and tripled and doubled and not have sat stagnate.
Right. One of the things we're building into our new program that we're working on is finding a mentor.
Yeah.
And how to not be creepy about it. Like, don't go up like, will you be my mentor? How to find someone that will help you get where you want to go. And first it's figuring out where you want to go.
Yeah.
But once you know that, finding the person that can help you get there.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that'll really help is like, no, okay, this is what I want to do. This is the person who's really good at it. Let me go learn and learn on their dime. Let them pay for your mistakes.
That's right.
I wish we had done that, but hindsight.
We can't Monday quarterback it.
I know.
So the first of the 5 ways is what exactly?
I mean, for me, it was, I learned what I wanted to do in that first season of you being gone. But I had to wait. So I guess the way it kicked my butt is like, I wanted to go do something, but couldn't.
Yeah.
And I had to learn some patience.
Yeah.
There's so much content out there of like, the 23-year-old with 1,000 doors in their first 2 years, or it's exaggerated, but
they're out there.
I know. So real estate is not a fast race.
Yeah.
And we're seeing it now in our business of the houses. I mean, you have a house that you bought in 16, I think it was.
Yeah.
And it's doing really well for us. And each year they do better and better. And we have a lot of tenants moving out this year, and we're not mad about it because rents have gone up so much that we're going to be well compensated for the effort to re-rent them. But it might not cash flow great today when you buy the property. And we were talking, we have a house that we might wind up renting instead of flipping. It's a back and forth conundrum.
It's an ebb and flow situation.
But we're okay if it breaks even for the first year because we know that rent growth in time will make it worth it.
My argument to Tiffany was this morning of I would rather break even as a rental than break even as a flip. Because if you can break even as a rental in time, it will bring its reward.
Yeah.
When you break even as a flip, that's it.
And
it's done.
I want to be very clear. Like, we know our numbers. We know what repair is going to be. We know how to account for vacancy. And we're spreading the risk of that one property over our portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
So I would not take that strategy for your first deal.
No, definitely not. Like she said, we can afford to break even on one house out of 20. I mean, it's okay to do that. I would not break even on one house out of one house.
Yeah.
Or even one house out of 5 houses.
Right.
I wouldn't, unless you have a strategy.
Don't bet on appreciation.
Yeah, don't bet on any of that.
Or rent growth even. And if this house, if rents go down and we can't get break even, we can eat that monthly if we had to.
If you're buying 10 real estate deals because you only need the depreciation to offset your taxable income and you don't really care at all how many you have or if they cash flow at all, and you just need them to break even and capture all that depreciation, then that probably is a good thing for you. And you probably have enough of an income on your jobs, on your W-2 to make that make sense. But unless that is like your strategy, I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah.
But we're doing it because it's like that house is an investment for us. It would be just like if we went and bought, 15 gold coins and just let them sit in a security vault. It's like, well, I mean, we're not getting any money out of it, but it is an asset that we want to keep.
And I want to add, I don't think we're going to leave a ton of cash in the deal.
Right.
After we refinance out of the hard money. So it's not like we're leaving a huge down payment in there.
All right. That's the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Let's climb out of it. Actually, this morning, Otto and I saw a bunny rabbit and we chased it through the yard. It was like tiny, cute little cottontail.
At least he didn't catch it because that would have been interesting.
Would have been awful. He also tried to kiss an ant. So number 2 of our 5 ways life has kicked our butts this year, it was the infrastructure.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it was more childcare related, especially in the first half of the hot mess of a year so far. I guess really just knowing who you're going to call when things get hard.
Yeah.
And when stuff hits the fan. Like, I had no intention of potty training without Eric. Otto is just like Eric. They are two peas in a pod. Otto responds to Eric better in most ways. You guys just, I don't know, you guys have a relationship and y'all jive. And I wound up potty training solo. And it went okay. I mean, I guess as okay as potty training.
I think you did an outstanding job.
When you're at the chiropractor's office and you look over and he's grunting and then there's stuff falling through his shorts, that's a fun afternoon. Yeah, and the chiropractor has a 2-year-old, so we were talking about potty training and how it's going to go, and I was like, there you go. This is how it goes.
This is potty training.
Yeah.
Can I have a trash can?
Please hold my other child so I can go deal with this. Luckily, I had a change of pants in the car because we were going to lunch right after. Could you imagine?
I can't imagine.
I can. I guess we would have just gone home and given up.
Well, we tried.
Right.
We tried to do the peopling thing today, but we'll try again tomorrow.
Yeah. But just having like set systems for me with the childcare, especially in that first part of you being gone. But I think it also applied within the business.
Yeah. We had that property we bought back in March.
Yeah.
I think it was March that we bought. And, it really started off strong, started off really good. And then we ran into some issues.
What, for a week? I think it made it a week before we got.
Yeah, it made it a week and ran into a little bit of a blockade. And once we got all that sorted, it took about 10 days to get all that sorted out. Got through that. And then when we started to get back to it, my team that I had, planned to take me through to the end on it, it just kind of lost track of communication. And the biggest part of that was that I was in this school and a lot more involved than I anticipated it to be. And, you plan for contingencies, but you don't plan for the contingency. And that's where I went wrong. But if I had, someone on the team to be able to make those decisions, to get in there and literally write checks and make decisions, someone that I would trust to make the same decision I would. That's something that didn't happen. And that cost us. I mean, you could put a monetary value on it. I
think it was more your stress that was the issue.
It was stress. Yeah, there were many days I'm sitting in the classroom up there and I just see the phone calls rolling in from different contractors trying to give me estimates and or people trying to figure out, where is this, where is that? I'm like, I literally can't talk until the end of the day. And by the time I get back to them, usually the phone call is, I didn't hear from you all day. So I'm accepted another job and it's, 2.5 weeks long. So I'll let you know in 2.5 weeks. Or I'm like, goodness.
We finally, we got to the point where it's like, you know what? If it sits for a month until you get home, it sits. It
just wasn't worth the stress on either of us.
Yeah. I didn't have capacity because I was too busy doing a lot of other things.
Yeah, and there's no way I could have walked out of what I was doing up there to do all of that.
Right.
And so what we just accepted is there's going to be some holding costs that we're going to incur. It's worth the holding costs not to have to stress.
Yeah.
Like our time, our mental health was worth the price of the holding costs.
Yeah. Well, and I guess that goes into the next point of rubber balls versus glass balls. So you're constantly juggling multiple balls. And the rubber ones bounce, the glass ones don't.
Yeah.
So like for me, the glass ball was obviously our kids.
Yeah.
And then our dogs, they kind of probably went without water.
They're more like plexiglass.
They'll break eventually.
They'll eventually break, but they're a little more bounceable.
Yeah. But you decided that the renovation was a rubber ball.
It was.
We decided.
Yeah.
And it was.
And the things that I did let fall were definitely intentional.
Yeah.
I didn't let any glass balls fall. Well, I didn't think I did.
Yeah.
Until looking back. And I stepped on the scale this morning and I'm like, wait a second. I've been running my butt off for the past 10 weeks. Surely I haven't gained weight. And I've put on like 8 pounds.
Good night. I didn't know it was that much.
Well, part of me wants to really believe it's the muscle change.
It could
like,
be.
because I've run a lot.
Yeah.
I've ran a lot in the past 10 weeks. And
really, you did ruck marches with like huge packs and
between 6 and 8 miles every Wednesday morning rucking. And so I have a really strong inclination to believe that it's muscle, but also my flabby belly tells me otherwise. Well, and all the trips to Panda Express didn't help. So that was a glass ball that I wanted to believe was a rubber ball. Tiffany and I have been very dedicated to our health starting back in February.
Yeah.
And we'd been really holding each other accountable on it.
We made it 6 weeks.
And we did.
Well, no, we made it probably 2.5 months, I would say.
Yeah.
Because the last month, I think, is when both of us we just got overwhelmed. And it's just easier to make quick junk food than to eat a salad.
It was. And in some way, my mind is just like, if I don't have to think about cooking, then that frees my mind to think about something else. But if I don't have to cook, I didn't have a car or anything. Yeah. So the only options I had up there were...
in the commissary.
In the commissary was a pizza place, Panda Express, the Jimmy John's. Not Jimmy John's. What's that?
Subway?
No, the sandwich place, the nice one that has your favorite steak and...
Jersey Mike's.
Jersey Mike's. And there was a Subway as well.
Yeah.
So I'm like, those are my options. And then there was a commissary full of beer. So...
tax-free beer too.
It was all tax-free. I'm paying the tax now though with my flab.
That was good. But we had to learn what was the rubber balls versus the glass balls. Yeah. And I think our health, we would have rather had that be something we kept going, the glass ball. But also I think it's like we're talking about a month worth of eating, and it wasn't complete garbage on my end. It was not as good as I would have liked.
Yeah.
But keeping our kids fed and functioning, and
those are definitely glass balls.
I mean, our baby has some upper respiratory issues because he caught RSV at 4 days old, and I had to do breathing treatments twice a day. So what do you do when you have your baby sitting on a nebulizer holding a thing up to their face? What do you do with the 2-year-old?
Well, he runs around singing, and he has the best song ever. Bubba medicine song. Yeah. Brother medicine song.
So I finally figured out I could throw him in the bathtub and sit right there watching him and do the breathing treatment. But
hey, that's 2 birds with 1 stone.
Yeah.
Bath, medicine, glass of wine. You can get it all right there in one swoop.
So there was that. Then he takes 4 bottles of milk a day. Then he started solids. So there's 3 solids. So like keeping just the baby functioning was a lot. And then you have the emotional train wreck of a 2.5-year-old who's potty training. So you've seen the hot mess. Like bedtime used to be, all right, let's put on your jammies. Okay, go to bed. Good night. Now it's like, I'm wrestling him to the floor to get pull-ups on him. And
well, he has 2 types of pull-ups. There's rocket ships and there's dinosaurs.
Yeah. Do you know how many dinosaurs are left versus rocket ships?
Ooh, what's the count?
I don't know the count, but we're about to run out of rocket ships and it's going to be a bad day.
All right. Hey, Alexa, add more rocket ship pull-ups to the shopping list.
Yeah, we have tons of dinosaurs.
You think she heard that?
No.
I don't think so. All right, the next thing. So the first 3, just to recap on the way, the first thing is learning what your passions are, but you had to wait.
Yeah.
Patience.
Yeah.
And the second one was the infrastructure.
Yeah, we didn't have the infrastructure like we thought we had it set.
Yeah. The third one, we let some rubber balls fall that we probably should have considered glass balls.
Yeah, but I also think it is what it is. I think it was the right decision at the time. It's not like it was a decision that we made for years.
Yeah, that's right.
So I think the big thing is June's crazy because of our trips and stuff. But my plan is when you come home, we're going to get back on the
We're going to do it. Narrow. Absolutely.
All right. So I think the next point for me, this all allowed us a big opportunity to just reassess our life and what do we want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Is On Purpose Investor in the podcast what we want to keep doing, or do we want to go invest more in rentals? Like, what do we want to do with our time?
Yeah,
because I know I want to work, but what do I want to do?
Yeah, I'm still not completely, abandoned the plan of buying coin laundries.
I know you brought that up today. I'll figure that out for you later.
I just look forward to counting quarters, and like I just add up a lot of quarters, and it equals like, oh, I had a $10,000 month in quarters. I want that to happen.
You want to carry like 5-gallon buckets to the bank?
No, I want to carry just like the rolly suitcases you see in the airport.
Yeah.
I want to do one of those into the bank.
Okay.
It's full of quarters.
Well, our bank doesn't have a ramp or anything. It's just stairs. So
that's why I worked out. Yeah.
Get out of the muscle.
You see the microphone's covering it, so it looks as big as you want it to be.
Get the 2-year-old muscle to help you.
Yeah, I'll do that.
But I think it gave us the opportunity to just literally pause our life and look at what do we each want to be doing? What's the best setup for our family? And it was like a big blessing, I think. And that it forced us to stop everything we were doing and look up and say, what do we want to do? Yeah. And be very intentional.
And that is butt kicking, because what people enjoy most out of life is expectation, like having clear expectations of what the next day is going to be, or what the life trajectory looks like. People find comfort in that, and they find comfort in knowing what the outcomes are likely going to be.
Right.
But what we're in this moment right now is essentially, are we going to burn the ships and do something completely different?
Right.
Are we
right? Well,
what are we doing?
One of the thoughts I had was getting another W-2.
Yeah.
Because I knew I wanted to work. And I wound up taking a 1099 role as a fractional CFO, working with David Richter on Profit First.
Yeah.
So I'm helping other business owners in real estate implement the Profit First methodology in their business. And it's so much fun. I get to talk real estate with like-minded investors, help them with their finances. And I had the thought I could go find my own clients. We know enough real estate investors.
Yeah.
But if I do that, then that means I'm not going to be able to do the podcast and help build out the program we want to build out for On Purpose Investors. So I just decided, you know what? I'm going to partner with David's company, let them bring me the clients while he's going out and speaking all over the place.
And you just recently set him up with Better Life Tribe.
Yeah.
Where Tiffany reached out to Better Life Tribe that Brandon Turner hosts, and got David speak to that mastermind group.
Yeah. And I think he's coming on the podcast. We need to talk with him and get that situated. But we are implementing Profit First in our real estate business, and it's really changing the way our finances are run. I know you don't know a lot about that yet, but you will soon.
I sure will.
But it's helping us automate the finances.
Yeah.
So that I'm not spending all my time on that, and I can work on the other things I want to work on. So I'm working on the things I want to work on and outsourcing the stuff I don't want to work on.
That is the most beautiful thing to ever exist. Yeah. It's like it's who not how, but combined with some other elements.
Yeah.
Essentially, Stephen Pressfield's, put your ass where your heart wants to be in the seat.
Right.
That you want to be in. Now that book talks a lot more along the lines of imposter syndrome and just doing the job you wish you had, or doing the job you want to be successful at,
right? And
you end up having it. But in the same idea of your heart doesn't want to be in every role of this business.
Right. No. And I don't want to build out web pages.
Where your heart wants to be, that's the seat you're going to sit at.
Yeah.
And then you're going to who not how the rest.
And then if, it's like, if I am dreading doing something, I'm going to outsource it. And I'm going, if we don't have the financial resources to outsource it, we're either going to find a way to increase revenue, or I'm going to go pick up another client in the CFO business to pay for what I need done for On Purpose Investor.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, if I'm working on something I enjoy, that's going to make me a better wife, mom, person, and just happier overall.
Yeah.
And if I'm not doing the stuff I don't want to do, like that just, I don't know, it just feels good.
If you can live your life in alignment with your true purpose, that's where you start to see the dividends of your hard work.
Right.
Not just in the money you make,
right,
and not just in the relationships you build, but the energy that you put off to others.
Right.
People are attracted to your energy. They want to be around you. And what does that usually bring? It usually brings in opportunity.
Yeah.
It usually brings in the things that you have been essentially trying to propel into existence.
Yeah.
And then people are always, wondering like, how do people will things into existence? Well, it's all about attraction. It's like the attraction of energy. And
I think it's that plus you have to know what you want. And that's what Dream Life University was helping people find what they want. And some of the feedback we got was, yeah, that was great and it helped me a ton. But what's next?
Yeah.
And that's where our new program is going to have that what's next aspect to it. So I'm super excited to launch that. I'm thinking we're going to be able to launch it late summer, early fall. So stay tuned for that. And I guess we can go and announce we're in the works on a masterclass coming up.
Yeah.
So it'll be for sure under $100. And Eric's going to talk through some great stuff. We'll hash out the topic a little bit more, but yeah, be on the lookout. Be sure to follow us on social and email list and all that good stuff to hear what Eric's got coming.
And I guarantee you it's going to be worth the price of it. If not, we're going to give you your money back. It's going to be about 2.5, 3 hours long, however long y'all want to make it with me.
Yeah. And how long, how many soapboxes you get on?
Soapboxes and vignettes. So vignettes.
Yeah, I was going to say
vignettes. Maybe I'll eat beignets while giving vignettes. So that was the number 4.
Yeah, that was 4.
Let's circle back. Number 4, how can you be intentional with your life and family?
Yeah, if you had the opportunity to just press pause in your life and blow everything up and start over, what would you change?
And that's one of the ways our butts is getting kicked right now is that, well, it's an intentional butt kicking. We kind of forced it on ourselves, but it has to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think you being away from your family made you appreciate us. I mean, why wouldn't you appreciate us? We're pretty great.
You are amazing.
But I mean, I single mom in it for a lot of time this year.
Yeah.
I'm like, good night to the single moms out there. Like, props, because it is no joke. And having you back, I mean, just going to Costco, I'm like, oh, I don't have to take my eyes off the baby to deal with the temper tantrum that's happening right now. Because
I got the baby.
What? I don't even remember what he broke down about after we went to the bathroom. It was like,
oh, there's no telling.
He wanted to go touch the pizza boxes, I think.
That's it. He wanted to touch the pizza boxes. Listen, stand your ground. Don't let your toddler touch the pizza boxes.
Yeah.
But also don't make a mountain out of a molehill.
Yeah. You guys were sitting on the floor in Costco.
We were.
Yeah. I think the last thing we kind of realized is we got comfortable. And part of it was having a baby kind of took our eye off of the
let's say
ball.
Yeah, the pausing that we took, the taking a break that we've taken has been circled around our 2 kids.
Well, yeah, the 2 kids and all of your Army training.
Yes, there's been a lot of that.
Because there's moments I'm like, what have we done in the last year? And it's like, oh yeah, we moved and renovated this house. We had a baby.
I went to not only officer school, but some safety school.
Yeah.
And a basic course.
Yeah.
On officer school. So
it's been a lot.
It has been quite a lot. Let's see, that was about 30-ish weeks of Army training I was gone.
Yeah.
So
it's been a lot of Army over
there was
the past
a lot
few
of that.
years.
Yeah, it was a lot.
But I think we both have goals outside of what we have in our portfolio. Like, we want to grow financially more and be able to travel more and do more. But we got so comfortable, and I don't know. I think in a way we got comfortable, but also there was a lot of other stuff going on. So, but I guess we didn't have clear goals on what we wanted to accomplish. Yeah. And we didn't accomplish anything. We were just like, oh, we got our number, like, we're good. But then what we wanted to do grew. So some lifestyle creep happened, which is perfectly fine. But we need to shift and start buying houses or growing on purpose investor, or, I'm doing the CFO work. So we have new goals and we need to grow to meet those goals.
Yeah.
Just keep in mind what you want and make sure that you're growing to match that target.
So we got our butts kicked because we got comfortable.
Yeah.
That's true. And, that's one of those things that maybe you are comfortable and maybe there is no lifestyle creep happening. You never know.
Yeah. I mean, I think too, though, we got comfortable and we weren't continuing to grow as individuals. And that led to me being discontent with myself.
Yeah.
because I'm constantly interested in learning new things. But I was like, what am I learning? I'm just sitting here nursing a baby, which I know is not just sitting there nursing a baby, but I learned that I need more just mental challenge.
Yeah.
And I think that caused a lot of the struggle, I guess.
Yeah. And so the biggest thing for me on getting comfortable is I truly feel God has gifted people that are very successful with their talents so that they can help people.
Yeah.
And so that they can maybe exchange their talent for money and use that money to help people.
Yeah.
And I feel like never should we ever get too comfortable, because we do have a gift. We have several different types of gifts.
Right.
And we should absolutely use it to help people.
Right. Well, and also modeling for our kids.
Right.
What hard work looks like.
Yeah,
but also what good rest looks like. So it's a fine line, but
have your enough number or enough, what does enough satisfaction or enough success look like? And then keep doing it.
Yeah.
Keep doing it, but use everything in excess that is excess for those that need it.
Yeah.
Because you have a gift and you need to keep using it. The people that are maybe benefiting from your gift, and then the secondhand effect of the people that can benefit from either the words that you say and then people go and repeat it and they share the good things that you have to say, or the income that your gift is bringing
that you can then give.
You can give to maybe, whatever philanthropic or religious aspect or whatever it may be.
Yeah. That's a lot of our goals.
Yeah.
Is it's giving more, but also building generational wealth for our kids through some interesting venues, but we're young. I don't think we would just sit here in our nice house.
I'd be super bored.
Yeah.
I mean, you can only play so much guitar a day.
Yeah.
And you can only cut the grass so much.
I don't know. All right.
That is a fun little lawnmower, I tell you what.
You've been on it once?
I rode it once. It was fun.
My stepdad's been on it a lot more than you.
Oh God.
I guess I want to wrap up by just saying, like, all of this happened for us to make us into the next version of ourselves.
We're the happiest people you ever seen get their butts kicked.
Yeah. There were moments it was absolutely miserable. And it's easy to get caught in a victim mentality of a way, like that. Why is this happening to me? And I just tried to digest it as, this is a lesson for me to learn something. What is the lesson I need to take from it so that I can move on to what I need to move on to next? And that's where we've realized that, some of the shifts in the business are coming. And while you were gone, like, built out the entire framework for the new program we're going to do, and super excited to get that rolling. And there's just a lot of growth behind the scenes that I think will start showing over the next 6 months.
Well, I'm excited to see it, and I'm really excited to bring it to the community at On Purpose Investor and even broader.
Yeah.
So all of you that are listening right now, if you have shared our podcast, we are so thankful. We have seen an explosion of listeners and followers out there. So whatever it is you're doing, I want you to keep on doing it. And if you haven't, been on your social media or maybe just texted our podcast to a friend that you think might be interested or benefit from the things that we have to say, would love to see those shares and those, just getting the word out there about the On Purpose Investor. This is obviously a free content show. We love to come here and talk about the things that matter to us. And hopefully, maybe one thing we say over the course of 50-something episodes changes your life forever.
Yeah.
That's the mission here. That's the goal. We want to instill a sense of hyper-intentionality inside of you so that you can create a better life for you and your family and create that generational wealth and just help change the world just a little bit at a time.
Yeah.
All right.
That's all we got.
That's all we got. And we'll see you next week for episode 54. Thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions or comments, we'd love to hear from you. Head over to onpurposeinvestor.com and sign up for our newsletter to get all the latest updates. If you haven't already, we'd really appreciate an honest review wherever you watch our podcast. All right, now go smash that subscribe and follow button for more tips on building your dream life. See you next week, Pathfinders.